Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Constructing Our Virtual Inspirational Direction, 19 different ways. This will be our third episode. We'll be talking about some service work and volunteering and why that's so important, especially during this time. So I know for me, a lot of my recovery focused around helping other people and figuring out what it was that I could do in my own community and within my own capacity. Because I'm not necessarily great at everything that I do, but there are other people within our community that have their skills and their own purposes, and we like to utilize those things for, whatever they're available for. Now, I'm pretty good at talking to people. You guys understand that. Most of y'all have met me before, and that's not somewhere that I have any lacking skill. But if you ask me to do calendars and schedules and things along those lines, I'm going to have a lot of trouble with that. Or it's going to take me a lot longer. I can figure things out, but there's other people that are much better at it than I am. So we need to find things that we can do within our own community that fit our skills and that also are very beneficial during this time. I know it's kind of difficult with the social distancing and the fear of COVID being out there. But at the same time, guys, isolation is one of our biggest enemies. We've already talked about that. And there's a lot of ways within the community that you can help without having to do anything that crazy. There are great places, like Habitat for Humanity. I got a couple websites we can add here, thevoa.org, Volunteer Local, Volunteer Match, things like that. Those are websites that can be used nationwide to find volunteer opportunities. But there's local stuff around our community. There's churches that we can volunteer in. There's different, service positions we can do within our own meetings and stuff like that. I know it doesn't sound all that important when you're just talking about maybe making coffee, but how many times did you just go to a meeting for the coffee when you first showed up? So that's something that can be very important, but seemingly unimportant once we've been around for a while. But you cannot forget about those little things. And it's not always for us. It can be for the next person coming through the door. Things like getting rides to meetings. Those of us that have the privilege of having a vehicle or able to give rides to other people, that's something that we should definitely maximize our potential there. There's great groups in social media. There's different ways to reach out through the ATL recovery community, the Zone-DDF groups. Say, hey, I'm going to this meeting tonight. It's new. Anybody want to go with me? And also for those of y'all that don't have vehicles or don't have ways around, those are another place you can reach out and say, hey, look, I'm struggling right now and I need a way to a meeting. Can somebody please help me out real quick? Or even so, just be on those social media groups. When someone reaches out needing a little bit of advice, give them a call. I know that it's real easy to, oh yeah, you're doing well, and just put a little response on there, and that's very good to do too. But there's a lot more personality when it comes with a phone call attached. When someone actually gives me enough time to say, I saw your post and I wanted to reach out and see what's going on there. Those kinds of service work positions are imperative, because if I don't continue to help my fellow man in recovery, I'm not going to stay in recovery myself, because I'm going to get right back to my selfish behaviors. I'm going to get right back to that me and poor pitiful me mentality, and I'm probably going to get pretty lonely. And if I'm going to be miserable and lonely, I can do that when I'm out there. I don't need to be sober to do that, and that's not where I want to be. So for me, a lot of my service work consists on being available for you guys at whatever time, whatever day, and whatever's going on. There's very few times that I carve out for myself alone, and my family is very important to me, so that's something that I do not budge on. That's something I have to keep to myself, because that's part of my self-care. But anytime people need me, I am available. I know most of our staff is the same way. It's not just a 9 to 5 for pretty much all of us guys. So if you need things, you have to be able to reach out to us. The groups I'm talking about are great, but also for those of y'all that have made it, got a little bit of time under your belt, be able to give back like we do. Be able to offer those services. Sometimes just sitting around after a meeting, helping to clean up is more than enough. Maybe the newcomer doesn't understand what it means to be in a service position, and they see the person chairing the meeting picking up trash afterward and taking the trash out. That looks a little bit strange to someone. If this is the person supposed to be in charge, why should they be cleaning up? But that itself is something that's super important. If we're going to be in a position of leadership, we have to first learn to be in a position of servitude. So you guys, I want y'all to make sure that you find you a service position. Make sure you find you some way to give back to the community this week. If you need some ideas, reach out. I'll help you find some. If you just want to come and offer your story in a meeting, that's a service position as well. There's a lot of ways that you can give back, and there's a lot of little niches that each one of you have a very special talent for. There's plenty of things out there that I cannot do, and I need every single one of you guys to step into those positions. So please make sure that you're reaching out. Please make sure that you're trying your best here, because it's not always about the big things. You don't always have to do something major to make a huge impact on somebody. We see it every single day when it's just a matter of, here's some food. Maybe you want to cook. Like, we had a gentleman here today that was just chopping celery all day. That in itself was very helpful to Chelsea, because she's making all these trays and making all this food for you guys, and she can't handle it all on her own. You got to be clean, you got to be safe, but at the same time, please make sure that you're finding a position you have a talent for and that you can enjoy. I want to make sure that you guys have all this information, so if there's any volunteer websites that you guys want to add to the comments, I got a list of them here that I'll make sure to post in there. And if you guys want to ask any questions, as always, I'm here to answer your questions. Tom is helping out as usual. Please make sure you ask, and do not hesitate to ask. I cannot help you if you don't tell me you have a problem. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And actually, not next week, it'll be Friday was our next episode. So tune in at 6 p.m. on Friday for the next episode of Constructing Our Virtual Inspirational Direction 19 Different Ways. Thank you guys.